And it's the review that should have happened 20 freaking years ago. Uncle Bull Cow in the building. What do I got here? Dinosaur barbecue, Wango Tango. So the review that should have happened 20 years ago. I got some vessels for it, some chicken nuggets, and a little roast beef sandwich. I can't believe how little this is. I can just see it's lame as heck. They were 2 for $6, but I only bought one, and it was $6. So I can't put away two. I should have got the 2 for $6, put the meat on that one, and I've been in business. Anyways, so how long have I been eating this stuff? I've been eating this since the early to mid 90s. Yeah, 1993. 1994, I actually went to Dinosaur Barbecue in Syracuse, New York. Now, they make a phenomenal barbecue sauce. Their food is excellent. The ribs, everything. I took Mrs. Bull Cow there once when we went to New York, right? But so what I like to do when I'm in Dinosaur Barbecue, or if my father makes ribs, he puts their barbecue sauce on them. And then we have this as a dipping sauce. This is Wango Tango Habanero. So this is a spicy and sweet kind of dipping sauce. It's a barbecue sauce. Now I haven't had it in about 20 years, okay? And I found it in my grocery store. So I'm gonna pour it in this little Arby's cup. So we can do some hardcore dipping tonight, guys. They also make a habanero hot sauce called the Devil's Duel. And I used to eat that stuff on everything. All right, so Wango Tango. Man, it's been about 20 years since I've had this sauce. It used to light me up. Wow. That's good. That is good. There's a little bit of sweetness. There's spices in it that I can't explain. And then follows up with just a little bit of heat. Now, they may have toned it down a little bit. Let me tell you how long I've been eating this Dinosaur Barbecue. Their sauces. My father used to work in Syracuse, New York, and he used to buy all 3 sauces. The Wango Tango, the Devil's Duel Habanero sauce. Oh, I love that stuff, man. And their original barbecue sauce. He would buy them and he'd bring them back home. He always kept me supplied with that stuff. And so, you know, I just loved it, man. I grew up on it. Anybody know the story behind Dinosaur Barbecues? A bunch of bikers. They had a little garage in the downtown under a bridge and all this. They started selling plates out there, and then they opened up a barbecue spot. You go in there, there's a bunch of old burly, tattooed up bikers. There's businessmen, black folk, white folk. Everybody loves Dinosaur Barbecue. Wow. So I don't care for these. I'll be honest with you. I don't really care for this crap, but with this on it, it's beautiful. The sandwich is just a vessel for the sauce. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's give this one more go. By the way, this is Arby's 3-pepper sauce. I guarantee it's not going to compare to that. Not bad, but it has no heat. And it says on the label when you squirt it, live a little, you know, feel the burn or something. You see different things, but it's not hot at all. You know, you guys get tired of that, the marketing that something's hot. It's really not. But this, my friends, Now, Let me say it again. When I used to get this stuff, it was directly from the restaurant. Okay? Then they got some distribution. They had the sauces, at least a barbecue sauce, and then Wango Tango at some point in the grocery stores around me. You know? This is the first time I've ever seen Dinosaur barbecue products in North Carolina, which is great. You know, I always brag on them how good their food is. Now, I remember buying one of the products in the store within a year from having it from them, and I thought maybe it tastes a little bit different. Maybe they were making the sauce themselves, or they had smaller co-packers when they were doing out of the restaurant, and then maybe when they got distribution they went with bigger co-packers. That sometimes just get ingredients that are similar, right? The recipe's there, but there's some differentials in there. So I don't know. I think they've toned the heat down on this. My tolerance isn't high; it's real low. But I remember having a little bit more heat to it than it has now. It wasn't crazy hot, but you got your ribs. They're slathered in Dinosaur original barbecue sauce, which is not this one. This is Wango Tango. And you cut them ribs up and dip them in this sauce. You might not dip every bite. It's kind of like, you know what I mean. It's like the horsey sauce, right? You always gotta just do one dab of horsey when you come to Arby's. I like the horsey sauce, but I only like a little bit. You know, once in a while type bite. But Wango Tango, wow, this stuff is so good, man. I can't wait to tell my dad about it. Now my dad can get some and send it down to me. I just forgot about it. That's all. I didn't think about it. You know, for a while. I seen it in my local grocery store, and the label's actually different. The Dinosaur's down here. And I think they did use that dinosaur for their logo, but on the sign or something outside, but then they had a different thing going, a cartoon going on here. In the Devil's Duel, you got the dinosaur battling a devil. So, cool experience. If you guys ever been to Dinosaur Barbecue, let me know. Now, they did build another one in Troy, New York. When I lived in Troy, I went there. I ordered some different items, some Cajun food or something. So, I wasn't able to compare it to the original Dinosaur Barbecue, but watching something that started off as a small little barbecue spot, grow and expand, and then, you know, open more restaurants, and to see their sauces in the grocery stores, that was insane. I'm telling you, my dad used to grab that stuff, you know, and even every Christmas, he'd buy me pretty much all three, but at least I would have the Devil's Duel. It was a habanero sauce with good heat, and it, I remember it had thyme in it. So, you know, it was different, very different. At the time, the only thing we could ever get in the grocery store was maybe Melinda's. You know, once in a while I'd see some iguana floating around somewhere, stuff like that. But Barbados Jack, I've talked to you guys about that before. Barbados Jack, and there wasn't much else out there. No. If you went to the mall or in the Syracuse there was actually a hot sauce store. Then you could get the Pure Cap, the Endorphin Rush, the Bomb, you know, all those things. Dave's Insanity. You weren't seeing that in nowhere in the stores. So that's some of the names. There's way more. There's some that aren't even business no more. Like Bats Brew. There was Fire Mountain, which Vic Klinkle told me was a bunch of chili heads that would get together every year, maybe at a festival, or they would have some kind of get together, and they would produce a professional commercial batch of sauce. And when the Red Savina Habanero was real popular, they actually made a fire roasted Red Savina hot sauce. Best hot sauce I ever had back then, hands down. You're not gonna ever see that again. It was limited time stuff. So yeah, that stuff was solid. So that's the history, man. Like I said, I should have reviewed this 20 years ago. They didn't have YouTube then. Even, how old am I now? 30 years. Yeah. I've been eating Dinosaur barbecue for 30 plus years. Mrs. Bulkow, before she was vegetarian, she actually ate some Dinosaur barbecue with me. We had went to New York. Eliza was little. She was 1.5, I think. Maybe 2. And I had a friend that lived in Syracuse, and he had a bookstore. I wanted to go up there and see him, so we headed out. It was a rainy day. We didn't have anything to do. And we headed out, drove up to Syracuse, and so we gotta go to Dinosaur. So we went there, and Mrs. Bulkow had their brisket, and some collard greens, I think, and maybe mac and cheese. I don't know. She absolutely loved it. She was in love with the brisket. I think I got a platter, like it was like brisket and ribs, you know, with some sides. It was all excellent. So yeah, people from upstate New York, they really do know Dinosaur barbecue. So if you guys ever see this, give it a try. I'm not really detecting any heat in it. I can't read the ingredients because of the sticker. I got it on sale over top the ingredients. However, it does say heat lovers rejoice. Fruity hot habanero and savory cayenne peppers steal the show in this tingly, well-balanced sauce. Yeah, it's definitely different than their original. It's completely different sauce, but if you ever see Dinosaur barbecue, their original sauce, buy it. It's not sweet, okay? It's a savory barbecue sauce. Buy it, try it on some ribs, or anything like that. But anyways, Dinosaur barbecue, Wango Tango, Habanero, Uncle Bulkow, I freaking love you. What?